going to get started to demonstrate how to put an object into your timeline and move it from frame to frame. I'm going to start by going into my custom shape, and I've selected in the custom shape this flower. So I've selected this flower, and I now can draw with it. So I've already done that. I have it down here, and I've moved it down to the bottom of my left-hand corner. I'm going to select on my, I'm going to take my flower layer that I've just brought in, and I'm going to apply it to frame 1. I'm then going to click on frame 12, not my last frame layer, not my last frame, but my second to the last frame, and I'm going to apply it to frame 12. I'm going to drag it over here and then give it a 30% opacity. I want it to shift from a fully intense flower to a light flower. So from frame 1 to frame 12, I'm going to ask Photoshop to actually interpret the flowers in between the frames. So I'm going to go to Tween and tell it to select the layers, not all layers, but just the layers I've selected. And I'm going to keep all of these selected, the parameters. Once I do that, I can see that my flower travels across the page from here to here. If you click on your last layer, I found that it doesn't work, so you have to go in one layer in order for it to tween across. Next, I'm going to add my image, which is a flamingo, to my composition. So put it into my composition, and what I want to do is have it walk across the actual bottom of the page. So I'm going to position it here, and then I'm going to go to my second to the last layer, and I'm going to position it at the very end. And then I'm going to click on all of them and again tween these. And now my little guy will walk across the page. Lastly, if you want to control how your image is placed in your document here, you can do that individually by selecting an image or create an object shape form, and you can start with it on your very first layer. So I'm gonna move it down here, and then for each layer I'm going to click on my layer and then my frame, and then I'm going to move it, and then I'm going to click on my frame, make sure the ellipse is set, and then I'm going to move it further. Into the space. And move it off page, move it down a bit. So each frame I'm assigning a new position for this shape. So now I can see that, kind of move through. Okay, so I've set up 3 different scenarios, one with a flower shape, one with a circle shape, and one with an image. I can have them all part of my animation. I have to have them all selected and then click. Or I can take one off and just going to use my oval shape and my image of the flamingo. And that's how you can set up shapes within your file timeline specifically on each frame